by the end of my pregnancy, I had no doubt in me that I was going to free birth this baby. I had no doubt. First of all, congratulations on you embarking on your free birth journey. I remember where I was last year before my son was born when I came to terms with the fact that I would be free birthing my son, or our son. I remember feeling completely helpless because I had tried to really get a lot of resources as to what to prepare for, as to what to have on hand, what to learn, what to educate myself with. A lot of the tools, I guess, were behind a paywall. There was always like a payment for a course or signing up to a community or something like that. And especially that Google and a lot of the big tech companies do not want women free birthing. I mean, go figure with that. So I hope that somehow came across this video easily, and so happy that you are here right now. So I'm gonna dive right into the list that I have prepared about how to prepare for a free birth. But before I do that, let me introduce myself. My name is Jeri. I'm a mama of two. I free birthed my second child. And let me tell you, it was the most incredible experience, hence why I'm so excited for you. I'm very passionate about returning to the original design. I'm a Christian and I believe that God's design is the ultimate design. It is perfect. There's nothing missing, there's nothing broken about it. So I'm very passionate about supporting mamas through pregnancy, birth, and postpartum in terms of awakening their mama bear and returning to your original design. So if that sounds like you, I would love if you would subscribe to this channel, because this space is just for you, and let's do this together. All right, let's head into my list. So I've separated this list into 3 parts. So the first part, how to prepare for a free birth mentally. Know your why. For me, I had a very strong why. I did not want to go to the hospital and be traumatized again like I was with my first birth. I did not want to feel like I was not in control and my own child was not my child. And so I never wanted to go through that. I also did not want to endanger myself or my child. So that was my why. Number 2 is mind your mind. This thing doesn't start when you give birth. It doesn't start in labor. It actually starts all throughout your pregnancy. Once you decide to do a free birth, you really need to mind your mind. That means, for me, it wasn't telling a soul, literally, besides my closest immediate family and one friend. Everyone else did not know that I was going to free birth, because I knew that they were only going to speak negativity and fear into my mind. I wasn't going to put up with that. So I just didn't say anything. And all throughout the labor process as well, I really guarded my mind against fear. I did not let myself mentally slip in that area. The next point is know your weaknesses and be equipped and be ready for them. So be ready for where you know you might be weak. Maybe it's mentally, maybe it's physically, you get exhausted, maybe I don't know what your weakness may be. Every mama is different, but be equipped and be ready for them so that you're not blindsided and you're not shocked. The next point is podcasts and free birth stories. So mentally, this really helped me. I actually listened to podcasts about home births, about free births, and free birth story, home birth stories every single night for most of my pregnancy. So that's a lot. That's a lot of free birth stories. That's a lot of podcasts. And by the end of my pregnancy, I had no doubt in me that I was going to free birth this baby. I had no doubt that I was capable of birthing my own child. For me, that's what really prepared me mentally, was just listening constantly. The next point is know the emergencies and prepare for them. So know what your emergencies are. How does this help you mentally? It helps you mentally because you've actually looked into what can go wrong. You know how to avoid those things. You know how to handle those things if they do come up. So mentally that helped me, because I didn't have any fear in the back of my mind that, oh, what if this happened? What would you do? You don't know what you're doing. No, I actually looked into every single emergency there could be in a home birth. So that really set things straight for me in terms of my mental awareness throughout my birthing process. Next point is know the contractions only come in waves. This really helped me, knowing that they only come in waves unless you're probably pushing at the very end, or most of the time for majority of women they only come in waves. And so know that that sensation will pass. That will absolutely help you, because when you're in the height of that sensation, you can feel hopeless, helpless, and desperate, and you will feel stuck and you're like, why am I doing this, you know? But knowing that will pass, and actually being grateful for that contraction, because that contraction brings you closer to having baby in your arms, right? So that really changed my mentality compared to my first birth. I hated the contractions. In my second birth, even though they were intense, I was actually grateful for them, because I knew that meant baby would be in my arms sooner because of this contraction. The last point is to visualize baby in your arms. So I don't know what you could visualize, but for me it was visualizing my son in my arms, and my son in his little docker tot that was in front of me. I had his docker tot right in front of me, and I just knew in a few hours, in a few moments, he was going to be in there, and that honestly got me through. Let's move on to the physical part. So how to prepare for a free birth physically. Practice your breathing. This is incredible what this simple technique can do. What really helped me was actually the faith-filled childbirth course, I believe it was. Faith-filled childbirth course by Christian Hypnobirthing, because it taught the 2 ways of breathing, and it was incredible. Once I did let my breathing slip in the transition stage, things got really difficult from that point. So really practice your breathing all throughout your pregnancy so that becomes second nature to you. Next point is to educate yourself on what your body is actually doing, so that you know the sensations that you're feeling and you are grateful for them. So you're not shocked, you're not blindsided by what's going on. Why am I feeling this pain? Why is it all of a sudden so intense? Educate yourself on the stages and what your body is actually doing to bring your baby into your arms, and then you will not feel as overwhelmed, at least in my opinion. Next point is just to drink red raspberry leaf tea in your last trimester. This really helped me, I believe. I didn't do this with my first birth, and what red raspberry leaf tea, I mean, you can look into it, but it just really strengthens your uterus, and so then actually makes the contractions more efficient, more stronger, and you do want stronger contractions, because that actually means a shorter labor. And also it really helps with hemorrhaging. There is actually a red raspberry leaf tea brew that is extra strong that I saw online. You could look it up, that a lot of mamas actually swear by. They take it as they're in labor, and they almost have like barely any hemorrhaging in their births because of that extra brew that just really helps their uterus contract. The next point is to keep moving. Keep moving. This is absolutely essential for my birth with my son. Just keep moving, because it will really help. The next point is keep everything relaxed and not tense. This is easier said than done, but what really helped me was actually doing this with my lips. I don't know what that is called, but if you are doing that, it actually relaxes your facial muscles, and that means you are relaxed down there too. You do not want to be tense in your shoulders and in your face or hunched, because it absolutely tenses you up down there, which causes more pain. It can stall your birth and can possibly cause a lot of tearing too. The last point physically to prepare yourself for a free birth is get your support person ready for hip squeezes. And also what really helped me was hot compress or warm compress. So my husband had warmish water and a tea towel, and in a contraction, I would save it for a really intense contraction, he would hold it against my womb, and that really helped. But I noticed though that once the towel got cold, it did not help anymore. So I was like, give me more warm towels, and really save these things. So the hip squeezes, the warm compress, and even the comb that you hold against your palm, save that for towards the end of your birth or your labor, because if you use it at the start, I feel like its effect, when the contractions aren't as intense, its effect kind of weakens later on. That's just my opinion. So I really waited until I couldn't bear it anymore, then I used those tools. Speaking about tools, let's move on to the tools. So how to prepare for free birth in terms of practical tools that you need to prepare. These are musts. You should have at least 2 umbilical cord clamps. So look that up. You probably already know that. Sterilized surgical scissors. I highly recommend actually just getting them brand new. You could find them at any pharmacy, I think. So they're surgical scissors and they're sterilized. Towels, black towels that you don't mind kind of getting dirty. For me, I just used old towels, and then I had a lot of those big like doggy pee pads, but they weren't doggy pee pads. They were like, I got them from a pharmacy. I had a lot of those all over the floor, all over the bed, just everywhere. It made cleanup so much easier. And then we have pillows for under the knees. These aren't completely necessary. Like, this baby will come out regardless of what you have, right? But this really helps your knees because you may or may not be on your knees for hours. I know I was, and so pillows really help. The weighing tool, so it could be a scale, it could be like the baby in the sling and you have that carry weighing thing. The weighing tool, you also probably need measuring tape to check the length of the head circumference and the length of the baby. That's really helpful to have that. A big bowl for a placenta, preferably a bowl that you wouldn't mind discarding. I know that the bowl that we used, we just couldn't use it anywhere else. Like, it came from the kitchen, we used it for the placenta, and we could not use it for the kitchen again. So just an FYI, that's just us. Lots of water, snacks. I got really hungry, so I'm really grateful for the snacks. Diapers for mom and baby. Music and affirmations, which really helped me. So that was all Christian hypnobirthing. I didn't even listen to music throughout my labor. It was just all Christian hypnobirthing, which was incredible. This is not necessary, but I really liked an actual headset because I felt like I was in my zone. And when I started labor, it was at 3 in the morning, so I wasn't going to blast affirmations in our room. I wanted to be silent so that the rest of my family could actually still stay sleeping. And then we have fresh sheets under the towel. This is just kind of a hack. It's not necessary, but have fresh sheets underneath the towels and the pee pads on your bed, so then that way after you get a shower, I mean, after obviously that skin to skin time, you don't have to rush it. Really don't feel like you need to cut the cord. Like, I waited hours, really. It was really nice to actually rip all of that gunk off, right? And then climb into bed with fresh sheets after having a shower. It was so precious. So those, I apologize if I've been looking over here this whole time. I'm just reading a list, but let me just say this. Regardless of whether or not you have these things, Mama, you are more than capable of birthing this baby, and no one else can do that for you, right? You are more than capable of birthing this baby. That baby, your precious little one, will be in your arms, and whether or not you study, whether or not you physically prepare, right? But these are just things to help the birth process and to make things as comfortable and as much of a joy. Let me just say this, that it's been almost a year now since my free birth with my son, and I think back at it and I literally only have smiles on my face. Like, I can't stop myself from smiling. I have so much joy and so many incredible memories from that time. I highly actually recommend you to film the birth. Ask someone to film the birth, because I love looking back and watching that video. It's so precious to me, and I hope the same thing for you. I really pray the same thing for you, and that you have the most incredible, supernatural, peaceful and joy-filled birth. If you like this video and if you have any questions, please let me know. Please like the video. I wish you all the best. I am excited for you, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.